Hello, I'm Vara,
And I'm Roxy.
and you're listening to VCR. Hey, Roxy, how are you?
Hey, good, doing
Having a
good.
super fun day today?
Yes, enjoying this day off.
I know, me and Roxy have the rare treat of both being off on the same day. So, happy Good Friday for all of the listeners who are wondering why are we off today? And then the other thing is like, by the time you get this, it'll be Tuesday. So,
Yeah. So
but
happy
just
Easter
to,
and all that stuff.
happy Easter, holy Saturday, all that other good stuff there. So
Mhm.
for our and also same to our Greek Orthodox who listen to us out in Greece, Christonasi. So good Easter to you. Anyway, so getting into it, speaking of something that it's the Easter season, probably something we probably shouldn't have watched during the Easter season, but oh my
Probably.
God, it was so good. So good. Roxy turned me on to this movie, and also I had heard so many people talk about it. I was like, all right. So I broke down and I watched it today, but today we're talking about Poor Things. And I was like, oh my God, this movie was so bizarre,
It was so bizarre.
so funny, but also so well written and
Yeah.
so
Well done, just all
entertaining.
around.
Re- The colors they used in this
Yes.
movie
Mm-hmm.
blew my mind. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what kind of acid trip the director was on, but my God, bravo.
Yeah.
That was so good. But let's jump into a little bit of plot for y'all who may not have seen Poor Things, but most people have seen Poor Things, so it's a thing. But Poor Things is a 2023 film that did really well at the Oscars, and it basically was directed by a guy whose name I cannot pronounce, but Yorgos Lanthimos. I'm assuming that is a Greek uh, name there. The awards that it swept up at the Academies, winning Best Actress for Emma Stone, Best Production Design, Best, Actress in a Leading Role, Emma Stone again, and then, Best Makeup. It really swept up at the Academies. Which kind of blew my mind. BAFTA awards, Golden Globes got Best Motion Picture, Best Actress again, also Golden Globes for Emma Stone. It was a brilliant. It got the Critics' Choice Award for Best Actress as well. Emma Stone just did amazing in this
It
movie.
really did. It was
It's I feel though it's kind of a shame that the other actors didn't get as much because they were just as good. I mean, she carries the movie, but like Mark Ruffalo, William Dafoe, oh my God, they were
yeah,
spectacular in
they
this.
they did.
I mean, they were just so damn good. But getting to it, let's get into a little plot twist here, or plots in general. So, Poor Things, basically, it's the story about Bella Baxter. And what's happening here is they start you off immediately with the fact that there is a woman on the bridge and she is committing suicide. They don't explain why at that moment, but she's committing suicide. And William Dafoe's character, who is this doctor of sorts, uh, Dr. Goodwin, um, basically is his name, uh, ends up finding her kind of deliberately, if you ask me, but kind of, finds her and then he reanimates her. But there's a
Hmm.
lot more going on there. So it's a lot more than just like Frankenstein, like reanimating a dead person, because she was kind of alive, kind of dead. Same thing with with well, I'm gonna ruin it. The baby that she had inside of her. And so
Uh-huh.
what he does is he performs this surgery, and it gives you hints that he might be a mad doctor or a mad
Hmm.
scientist because, the pets that he has are
Yeah.
like it's a chicken with a dog's head or
It
a
was a duck. It was
well,
a
yeah,
duck with a dog body.
yes, there's a duck with a dog buddy, but there is also a chicken with a French bulldog's head on it.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yes. So what he's doing is like he's stitching things together to create different things. So now's his chance to do it with a human. And so what he did is he reanimated her body, but then took her brain out for some reason, and then put the brain of her, I don't want to say unborn child in there, but like put the brain of her baby into her head and then
Hmm.
reanimated her. And so it's really, really interesting, like watching her like learn things and grow and becoming curious about life was really interesting. Now his name
Yeah.
is Godwin, but she just keeps calling him God throughout the whole movie.
Hmm.
So I'm assuming there might be a little religious thing going on here, but I'm not going to focus on that. Uh the other guy who plays Dr. Goodwin's assistant, Max, is played by Rami Youssef. He was so good being
Yeah, he was.
that little that little scared guy all the time. Uh,
Yeah.
and but Mark Ruffalo as Duncan, oh my God, he
Yeah,
was
he was
so good. He was such a
really,
jerk,
really good.
but
It was
such a
such an
good jerk.
asshole.
He really
Such an
was.
asshole.
Really fucking was. But the thing was hysterical all the way through. I'm not gonna say I laughed at every single scene. Roxy, did you kind of
No,
break down and laugh at every scene?
not in every scene, but there were like some, I did laugh through the movie.
You
So
had moments. I
there were
think,
moments.
do you
Yeah.
have a particular moment that was pretty funny for you? Because I had several of them that I had to stop and think of, like, oh my God, this is so stupid but funny. Like, there's
Like
a, go
the
ahead, go ahead.
part where he was trying to kill the old lady.
Yes, oh my
That was
God, that was
fucking
so
hilarious. They're just
funny.
watching him like, what is this idiot doing?
And then they go over there and they kind of they beat him up, but like in this really
Yeah. They're
pansy,
like, okay, this is enough.
comical,
Let's beat his ass now.
cartoon kind of beating up, and it was so funny. And then as she's going and learning life, what the whole thing is, Bella is kind of, I don't want to say kept prisoner, but sheltered by Dr. Godwin and the assistant Max,
Hmm.
and they're kind of keeping her away from the rest of the world. Well, she becomes very curious and wants to see the rest of the world, and so she has these little fits, where if she doesn't get what she wants, she starts screaming and yelling. And I thought it was really funny where she's destroying the lab. He keeps telling her Bella, and she just knocks things over. Bella,
Bella,
and
and
he's
she grabs
that
something.
crash. Bella crash. I was like, oh, it's Roxy basically.
Right. I was like, yeah, get it, girl.
There's a
That's how you
few
do
scenes
it.
in there where I was like, wow, this reminds me of someone when she doesn't get her way. No,
And
it was like,
who was
okay,
the the guy or whatever that was helping him in the lab?
Max,
He had to
yeah,
clean it up. He was like, oh.
yeah. She just, she was so, she would have these shit fits. And,
Mhm.
whenever she didn't get what she wanted. And the one thing I learned about that is, oh, I can use chloroform on Roxy when she doesn't be
No, you
like,
cannot.
I totally did not think about that. That's absolutely
Highly don't
brilliant.
recommend.
It's like, and sleep.
And that's enough of you.
Yeah. So it was so good. It was so good. But w- Mark Ruffalo's character, Duncan, kind of. whisks her away and is like, "Come with me and I'll show you the world. I'm enamored with you." And his thing is he's like a gigolo and he thinks he's a total badass type of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
so he takes her away and they're in Lisbon, Portugal,
Mm-hmm.
and they're having a time of their life. And then Bella realizes she can have a time of her life too. She's obsessed with sex. Now, in this
Yes.
movie, there's a lot of
A
not just
lot.
sex, but like a lot of like how she calls it working herself.
Yes.
They have really interesting names for sex.
Working
Or
yourself to find happiness.
yes,
I'm gonna start saying
exactly. And
it.
and basically what it is, it's masturbation. So she
Yeah.
calls working herself masturbation, and then uh sex is furious jumping. I was like,
Serious jumping.
oh my
I'm
God.
here for
I
it.
like furious jumping was absolutely brilliant. Uh it was so good. But the thing is, she's doing this almost practically throughout the movie. Like, if
Mhm.
you're kind of not okay with sexual scenes,
Yeah, this is not the
this is
movie for
not the
you.
movie for you because Emma
Mm-mm.
Stone is like working it throughout that movie. That's the best
Yeah,
way I can say.
the whole movie, damn near. She's working herself or working someone else. Like
Yeah, like when she
it's
when
a
she
lot.
wakes up from reanimation, when he's telling the story of her, like, what he's done, like the first thing she does is start touching herself. And
Hmm.
then she starts touching herself with an apple. And because she
Yeah.
like is so fascinated with this, she's trying to get
She's like, oh,
others
what
to
is this
do it.
new feeling? Oh my
Yes,
God,
and
what is
then
this?
and
Like,
her trying to explain it to others and showing it, and they're like, "No."
they're like, no, don't do that.
Don't don't do that. Uh when she pulls out the cucumber at
I
dinner,
know. I
he's
was like,
like,
oh.
"Oh, no, that's not what polite society does."
She's like, oh, oh.
Oh. So it was really, really funny, but really, really, weird at the same time.
Yeah, I
Oh,
felt a little weird. Just in thinking that she was, I guess had like a baby brain, so she's like a little slow, right? Like
mhm,
she's, a little special.
mhm.
And so it just like, why are these men trying to sleep with her?
Yeah, oh my God. Like,
Yeah,
well,
I was
so
like, this is
it
weird.
really is, but I think a lot of them don't like most of the guys once she starts getting into like she ends up so kind of black plot, Duncan kidnaps her from Lisbon and they're on a cruise and she's furious about it. But then she's starting to see more of the world and she sees a
Hmm.
slum for the first time and she's heartbroken. So she gives all the money away and then they put
Yes.
them off the boat. So then she goes off and she discovers a brothel and she's excited about it, so she becomes a prostitute. But the thing is, like, none of those guys know that she's special, especially even like some of the weird shit like she's telling them, like, was so it was so weird because she's learning that there's different things about sex and that people have different
Hmm.
forms of sex. And that was the most comical thing because she was telling this
Yeah.
one guy, like the second or third guy she's with, she's like, okay, you tell me a memory of yours and I'll tell you a joke. It was so stupid. Like he tells her this story about how he fell off a bicycle and skinned his knee and was excited about the blood and then she's like, "Okay, I'm going to tell you a joke." And she's like, "Knock knock, who's there?" "Fromage." "Fromage who? Aren't you glad it's not cheesy?" And I was like, it was just so stupid. It was
It
so
was
so
dumb. I was
stupid.
like,
I was like, whatever. Uh But then like the most hysterical part of that whole thing, because they show you she's banging these different guys, right? And the
hmm.
one that she's just absolutely enjoying and just like going crazy about, and like she's just getting dick down really good, right? And and then she's sitting there on the sofa, like spread out, as the guy's getting dressed, and he's like, "You, you, sir, have a gift from God." And then he turns around and it's a priest.
It's a
I'm
priest.
like,
Oh my
oh
God,
my
yes.
God.
I was like,
I loved it.
no.
I was so hysterical because the guy, he's really good looking, and then like you see they're just having this really great sex, and she's like, "You, sir, have a gift from God," and it's a priest. I'm like, oh my
Oh
God,
my
it
gosh.
was so funny. But she stays in the brothel for a
Hmm.
while because this is also how she's learning about life. And she goes over to the medical school and all this other stuff. And, she's doing a lot with it in a weird way. But then, Mark Ruffalo's character who swore her off and was trying to get back home comes back and he's like, "I've almost forgiven you for being a whore." And he's all poor. He's like, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
This guy.
And then he ends up in an insane asylum where he writes to Godwin, who let's talk about the character of Godwin for a minute. Oh my God. That was funny in its own way and really weird. Like Godwin he's the mad scientist, he's
Hmm.
the doctor, and the issue is that, he's not all there human wise because like his face is all cracked and put together.
I was gonna
Uh
say, is it like several different pieces of faces?
it looks like things were like cut off and put back type of thing, and then he has to use this machine when he eats, and so he hooks himself up to this machine,
And
and then
he burps bubbles.
yes, he burps bubbles at the end, like when he's finished eating, he's like, ah, and this massive bubble shoots out his mouth type of thing. And he's not really as human as you think. He's a unisex and all this other stuff, as he explains. But the reason he's so messed up is because his dad basically experimented on him and then basically tortured him throughout his childhood, and it was insane. But he
Hmm.
kept justifying what his dad did to him by saying it was for science, and I was like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you?
For real. Like,
Like
what?
where they decide, oh, they miss Bella. Bella's been gone. They miss her, so they're gonna create another one. They're gonna reanimate another dead woman. But he's sitting there on the
Mhm.
floor talking to Max, and he's like, for the sake of science, do you think my father could not have like taken hot irons and held them against my genitals for science? And then Max is like, what?
What?
It's like, that's not science, bro. That's your dad fucking you up. I was like, the shit he would do, like he smashed his thumbs, he did all these surgeries on him, and it was just insane. Like the dad was sadistic and abusive to Godwin, and Godwin's just like, oh, for
That's
science.
normal.
I was like, it's normal, it's for science. I was like, no, bro, it's not. But it was so, it was quietly funny because you don't really laugh at it. You're in shock at the shit he says, but then you realize this is kind of funny, like he doesn't realize that his dad did the horrible shit to him because in his mind it's for science.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And in the
it
name of science.
yeah, it was so strange, but it was so funny too. But William Dafoe really, I don't know if he got an award, but he deserves one, and so does Mark Ruffalo.
Oh yeah,
They both deserve
definitely.
awards for this because that was so good. But like the design, like the colors that they used, like for the sky and for the sun and all, it was like so
That
overly
golden
vivid.
sunset,
Yes,
that was so
the
beautiful.
gold and oranges and like
Hmm.
the coloring that they use, the color schemes were just mind blowing. It's stuff that you see in like the best way I can say it is like deep, rich colors that you would see like in old portraits type of thing. It was
Hmm.
just over the top, overly vivid. And I was like, absolutely visually stunning. For some reason, there are certain things that were happening that were just weird that didn't make sense. Like the ship, it was putting out this neon green smoke.
Yeah, that green smoke.
And I was like, why did they go with that? But they did that. And then the weird little sky carriages that they had, or the steam engine carriage that the doctor had that had the horse's head on it. I was like, why do you
Oh,
have a
yeah.
horse's head on it if it's a steam carriage? But it was funny. It was good. I really, really do recommend it. But again, if you're one of these people who are not big in like sex and movies, you definitely do not do it.
Don't
Yeah.
watch this movie then.
That's not for you. But the writing was funny. Oh my God. It was just so good.
It
Roxy,
was.
what were some of your favorites about this? I feel like I'm just kind of yammering on.
You're saying everything that I would have said. So,
Mhm.
um, I know I had to rewatch the part where when she worked herself with the apple,
Mhm.
because I was like, wait, what was that? Was that a cucumber? And then I was like, holy shit, it was an apple. How do you even do that?
Yeah, yeah, it was such a trip. I think, but the lines were so good, like where he kidnaps her and then he's telling her to forgive him. That was
Oh,
so. He's like, it was. I know you're mad at me for kidnapping you, but it's kind of romantic and lovely in a way, and stop being such a cunt about it. And I was like, oh my
I thought it was hilarious
God.
how when he was gonna like go down on her and then she
Mm,
told him that she just had sex with somebody else,
hmm.
he gets all upset and she just literally like legitly does not understand why he's mad.
Yeah.
Why are you sad? Are you crying now? Like
Hmm.
why?
And then when she says after he storms out, like, so there's no tongue performance tonight. Like, are
Is
you
that
gonna
not happening
like
anymore?
is that not? I was like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh. I was
Ah,
like, that was
dying.
funny.
I was dying with that. It was like, oh my God, that was so good. Uh, but Mark Ruffalo's character is so good because he's such a jerk. Oh my God, I was cracking up when they were fighting in the asylum, and he's doing that weird stuff like he's insane and he's trying to lick them, and they're just pop pop pop,
Yeah.
and they start hitting each other with pillows, and I was like,
Like,
oh
what
my
is
God,
happening?
this is so stupid, but it's so funny
It
too.
is.
And I don't want to ruin the end. I mean, at some point, Godwin passes away because it's discovered that he has cancer, and this is what brings her back to him.
Hmm.
And, she's all very much like, oh no. And this is where she also learns about her her life and
Hmm.
what she
Hmm.
was before and what they did to her. And then she discovers that she's married because the
Yes.
husband shows up, who ends up being
Hmm.
a bigger jerk than Mark Ruffalo's character. Uh,
Horrible person.
I mean, he feels like the best way to cure her is to have basically, have her clit snipped off. And he's working with a
Yeah.
doctor to do that. And he was just going to
Mm.
drug her and do it. And then she gets the upper hand. She gets out of it. She chloroforms him in a way and shoots him in the foot. Well, the gun went off accidentally. Then
Right.
she takes him to Max, and they have all the notes about brain transfers. And they put because he's not going to be like a nice guy afterwards, like he's just going to continue to be a jerk.
Yep.
So they put a goat's brain in him. And I was
That
like,
was so funny. Seeing him like that
yeah,
was
he was
hilarious.
just in the yard going, meh, meh, eating plants. And I was
Eating
like,
all the plants.
oh my God, this is
Oh
insane.
my goodness.
but it's fantasy, it's sci-fi, it's a romantic film too.
I
Uh,
really like how she became good friends with the lady and that guy on the boat.
yes. Oh my God. But that was funny too. That was like she goes up to the old lady and she's like, I
Oh,
like your hair. And she's like, I like your silky hair too. And then she was talking about uh Duncan's cock. And like the old lady was like, a good stiff cock. And he's like, it is stiff most of the time, but it can be flaccid sometimes. And then it's revealed that the old lady hasn't had sex in like 20 years. And like Emma Stone, Bella Baxter was
oh
like
my gosh.
appalled, like, no, I hope you at least work yourself. You use your hand. I was like, oh my God. I was dying. I
Oh,
was
she was like, oh my, she was really just upset that she hadn't had sex in a year.
Yeah, like she's oh, this pleases me. It makes me happy that you work yourself. And I was like, oh
Yeah,
my
that
God.
makes me feel better.
I was like, oh, you little pervert, stop. But yeah,
Oh
the
my
way she just
gosh.
goes up to them and just like, I like your hair. Can I touch
And
it?
she's like, what does she say? Is he furiously jumping you?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, she points to the guy that is he also fiercely jumping you? And she's like,
She's,
no. Oh my God.
oh my
It
gosh,
was
that's so
so
funny.
funny. And then just hearing them refer to sex as furiously jumping was just, I don't know why. It was just such a delight, like to hear it. Like furiously jump. That's what I'm gonna call it from now. Like, are we going to be furiously jumping tonight?
That sounds, yeah. See, let me
Yeah.
know if that doesn't kill the mood.
Like, like what the fuck are you talking about?
I think
Furiously
I would laugh.
jumping.
I would think I would laugh too hard. If somebody said that to me, I would laugh too hard and I'd be like, I can't
Oh,
even do it now. This is too
if
funny.
your boyfriend just walked in and be like, are we going to furiously jump tonight? You get no tongue performance tonight. Laughing at me.
No tongue performance.
This this movie was so stupid you couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, it's
You have to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna jump to it. Like, it was so good. You have to watch it. I'm gonna give this a straight A, just because there's so many good elements going. The acting
mhm.
was great, the writing was great, the comedy was superb, the design, the set
Yes.
designs was just mind-blowingly beautiful.
Hmm.
Like I had never those blues and those. I mean, everything was just spectacular about this movie. I've never seen a movie so spectacular that Roxy, correct me if I'm wrong. This is like the first movie where I don't have anything bad to say about it.
Right.
Yeah, like I always find something bad or shitty about a movie, even if I
Hmm.
like it, and I could not do it. Well, I mean, I guess if I wanted to play on the religious thing, I could, but I'm not going to get into that because they really didn't play too much into that. So
No,
I'm not going to give it that. I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was great.
yeah,
Some of
I
the
think it
scenes
was
in there
great.
were just mind blowing. Ah, I loved it. The dog chicken was clever.
I was like,
The
I want one of those.
yes,
No, I wanted the duck dog.
the duck dog.
I wanted that one. I was like, that is cute. I want
Oh my God, the duck dog was really cute.
one.
It was insane, but it was cute. It was brilliant. Really well done. Sorry,
Really,
yawning.
really good.
Someone woke me up early. Not gonna say who, but
Me,
someone woke me up
eight, what was it, like eight something this morning?
like 7:40. It was more like 7:40 in the morning when I'm trying to
Was
sleep in.
it?
Yes, when I'm trying to sleep in on a good Friday. And the most messed up thing is listening to her voice. It was like she was calling me while she was asleep, and I was like, "What is wrong with you? Go back to bed."
I was very hungover.
Oh my God. It's like I don't know. This to me is like I'm gonna do it even though she hates it. It's like one of those husband wife moments where it's like why are you waking me up at this
Right, what do
time?
you want?
What do you possibly? There is nothing so important that you have to wake me up while sleeping late on a Good Friday. I was like,
How dare
no,
you?
you haven't turned it into a bad Friday now. I was like, oh my God. So I tried to sleep a little more and then ended up going outside to do some gardening. So I'm a little
It was
spent.
8:12.
Whatever. So I thought it was 7:45. I was so out of it. I was like, who's calling me so early?
I was like, what time does he want to record?
And
Like,
it
I
was like,
need to get up.
could have been a text. Could have been a text.
No, why?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I gotta recommend this movie. Like it is to die for. You must check it out. Again, it's called Poor Things. I don't know what
Mhm.
the rating is on it. I forgot
Oh,
because
no.
we're fucking adults, so
Rotten Tomatoes.
why would why would we have to worry about ratings? It's rated R and it's listed as comedy/science fiction. I would even dare to throw in a bit of romance in that, you know. Um, I think she does end up marrying Max in the end. Uh,
Yeah, I think so.
oh my God, this guy killed me. I see him as coming up as part of the cast. Lornette Broyel, Borel, and Roxy. None of us know him, but if you see the movie, you're going to know him. So when she's a prostitute and she's at the brothel and there's that guy who's naked with a weird face and he's crawling around like a spider,
Oh, that was so weird. I was like, oh,
that's him. And I was
oh,
like, bravo, sir. Bravo. And then he would like crawl away from her, then crawl to her, then he starts sniffing her hair, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? But it was just so good. But rated R sci-fi. I'm even comedy. I'm even gonna throw in a bit of romance there. A romantic comedy sci-fi
yeah.
is the best way to
Hmm.
explain this. It was absolutely a delight. I could not be mad at it. Roxy, your thoughts and opinions?
Can't be mad at it. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna watch it again tonight, actually.
Yeah,
So,
it was so good. I'm willing to watch it a second time. It's so good.
hmm.
I don't rewatch movies a whole lot. I
Mm-mm.
really don't. But it was just absolutely brilliant, and
It
I have
was
to
really
say,
well done.
bravo, bravo.
Mhm. Good job. Good
It,
job.
it really was. It could have been better if I did it myself, but but it was great. It was really, really great. Please
Hmm.
definitely check it out. It's won all kinds of awards,
Yeah.
across the board, as we mentioned earlier, because it is just a really good movie. And it's the cool thing is, it just started off as an independent film. And it blew up into something really major.
Yeah.
So I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. Again, the acting was superb. Everything was just sublime about this movie. So check it
Hmm.
out. Love it. Cannot
Highly
complain.
recommend.
Yes, we both highly recommend. And let's say maybe you didn't like Poor Things, or you would like to talk about how you like to fiercely jump upon people.
Yeah.
You
Tell
may
me about
do,
it.
yeah, let's talk about it. If you have maybe a working yourself habit that you're trying to break, Roxy would love to hear about that. And
Yeah.
you can do that at our social medias. Let's start with our show first. Which is you can email us to the VCR show at gmail.com. You can hit us up on Insta and Twitter at the VCR show. And you can check out our YouTube channel, which is the
You
VCR
guessed
show.
it. The
Yeah,
VCR.
the VCR show. And our website, thevcrshow.com, with some recent content, I may add. And Roxy content is coming soon because I'm going to eventually break down and do an article on Roxy and some photos and pretty stuff like there. So you guys can like fiercely jump or work yourself to it. Doesn't
Work
matter.
yourselves, not
You know,
fiercely women. No, like-
you gotta work it, man.
Work it.
Fuck it. Anyway, and now for the lovely Roxy. and her content that you can fiercely jump to?
Facebook on Facebook, Roxy Perez Curvy Model, on Instagram at PopRox428, and on TikTok at ThePopRox. And PopRox is spelled POPROXX. You had me stuttering and messing up my whole thing.
I can't fucking stop laughing. It was so good. So good. But yes, definitely check that out. Hit us up, talk to us, let us know what you think. And we'd love, and eventually, I think in May we'll be covering Comic Palooza. Yay.
It's coming up.
Yes, we're definitely
Ooh, I need to
coming.
get my costume together.
Roxy's all kinds of
Not my costume. I
excited.
need to get my cosplay together.
Yes, I don't know what you're gonna go as.
Me neither.
I might, class it up and do the pretend I'm a superhero thing again. Maybe a different color shirt. I don't know. I may feel wild. Uh, but I know Roxy's main crush will be at Comic Palooza this year.
Yes, then I'm excited.
What's his name again?
Robert
Robert what again?
England.
Yeah, Mr. Freddy Krueger is going to be there. I'm sorry, Freddy Krueger, not Cougar.
Cruise.
Cougar is more of an adult.
Yeah, that's me.
When you go hiking and you see those signs, beware of cougar, they don't mean actual cougars. They're
No,
talking about Roxy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, her boy, Freddy Krueger, will be there. She's ever so excited about that. I remember when I told her about that, I thought she was going to lose her mind through text message. I was like, I'd hate to see what the office is having to deal with her at this moment. Yes, I was like... But yeah, we'll be checking out Comic Palooza, which will be happening in May here in Houston, Texas. Incidentally, for those of you who do not know, Comic Palooza is the second largest comic convention in the United States of this here America. So come by, check it out if you want. See us. You never know. You might be disappointed.
Probably.
But until next time, I'm Vara.
And I'm Roxy.
And you've been listening to VCR.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye
Enjoy your furious jumping.
Don't hurt yourself doing it.
Yeah, that would be bad. Like a little stretch. Definitely do some yoga. You have been listening to VCR, creative content by Richard Christopher Vara and Roxy Perez. Logo by Richard Christopher Vara with assistance from Annie Ramirez. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach us at thevcrshow@gmail.com or our social medias at Instagram and Twitter at thevcrshow. And you can also check out our content at thevcrshow.com. The show's song is Addict by Nefex, instrumental, and you can find them on YouTube Music Library.